When chefs tell you it's important to maximize ingredients available in your area, believe them. I'm back here at Antonio's Event Center and I'm craving steak, so I ordered this beautiful butter-aged ribeye from Lucas Steakhouse Tacloban. And because I don't have access to fresh rosemary or thyme, I complemented it with a homemade Tuba sauce. I figured if restaurants serve steak with a red wine reduction, why can't we substitute it with Tuba, right? Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back here at Antonio's Event Center and I am going to show you how I make my ribeye steak with Tuba reduction. I love my steak actually with red wine reduction, but we are here in Tacloban City, so you know what? Why can't we make it with Tuba instead, right? So also I want to give a shout out to Anjali of Lucas Steakhouse Tacloban for my ribeye steak. All right, I can't wait to show you how I make it, so let's get started. Okay, so the key to making a really good sear on the steak is to make sure that it is dry before you start. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a paper towel first. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and do the other side. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and season it as well. I really don't like to put pepper on mine, so salt is enough. I'm gonna go ahead and use rock salt for this one. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that all the other sides are also seasoned. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this on the board. I also need to use some garlic, so I'm just gonna go ahead and peel them as well. All right, and also I'm just gonna go ahead and peel that. Some people prefer to have that skin on. I really don't. It's up to you. You do you, okay? So today I'm going to be using a cast iron pan for the steak. You can also use a wok. Or also, you can also use a stainless steel. But if you have a cast iron pan, that would really be the best. Okay, so as you can see, the cast iron pan right now is really hot and it's smoking. It's now time to put some oil. Just a little bit, just enough to coat and so that you can sear the meat as well. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move in the pan so that it can evenly be distributed. All right. Hear that? That's what you want. Okay, so I also want it to be medium rare, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cook it about 3 minutes per side, just because it's thick. Okay, so this is the part where you leave it alone because you want it to have a very good sear, so leave it alone. You can use your tongs just to kind of press it in to make sure that that bottom layer also will develop the crust, but don't move it around. And keep it at high heat. All right, it's time to flip it. Look at that. That is what you want. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and keep this on low, and it's time to put butter and also garlic. Okay, so we're just gonna be using half of stick of butter, so 1/4 basically. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and add the onions that I crushed earlier, and then we're gonna go ahead and baste it so that the flavors of the garlic and the butter is going to infuse into the steak. I don't have access to herbs while I'm here in Tacloban, but if you do have access to it at home, I love to make my steak and put some rosemary and thyme on it as well. Okay. So now it's time to turn this off.
And I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this into my clean chopping board. And then I'm gonna let it rest and I'm gonna cover it with aluminum foil. We're just gonna let that rest while we make the sauce. Okay, so with the remaining juices, we're going to be making the tuba reduction with it. Okay, so I start with my onions. So this is just one small onion. You can put as much or as little as you want. So the onion is going to go ahead and absorb all of the juices from the beef as well as the butter. So it's gonna be really, really good. And then we're gonna add the garlic. Should be good. I start with the onions just to make sure that the garlic doesn't burn. And once the color starts to change, it's now time to add the beef stock. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add half a cup of the beef stock. And then we're going to go ahead and deglaze the pan. So those small bits that you scrape off of the pan, it becomes a part of the flavor. This is gonna be so good. So now that I deglazed the pan, it's now time to add a little bit of the tuba as well, just to give it a little bit of oomph. So it's just gonna be half a cup of the tuba as well. It smells so good. So once this starts to simmer, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of the cornstarch slurry. What I found is that if you cook tuba and it simmers for a long time, you actually don't taste the tuba as much anymore. So the flavor starts to become even more mellow. And so to make sure that the sauce is thick enough, at least for me, the key is to add a little bit of the cornstarch slurry. Okay, so now the final step is to add a little bit of the cornstarch slurry until you get your desired consistency. So this is also going to go ahead and give a little bit of the glaze into it as well, and some sheen. This is gonna be really, really quick, and this is your sauce. Okay, so at this point, the sauce is done and the steak has had its time to rest. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it and see if we made it right. So one of the things that makes a steak more tender is to actually cut it against the grain. So if you look over here, the grain is going this way, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it the other way, like this. All right. Look. That is perfect. Oh. So in Europe or in the US, this is actually going to be really, really good with potatoes, with a little bit of vegetables on the side. But you know what? We're in the Philippines. So what better way to eat it than with rice? Ta-da! I'm gonna go ahead and eat it with rice. Let's try it. I don't know with you, but for whatever reason, steak really is really good with rice as well. The steak is also very tender. It's medium rare, which is what I like. And the tuba reduction, it actually gives it a little bit of a different twist as well. I hope you like this video, and if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up, comment what you think about it in the description below, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!